come down to Fabrications in Carrum Downs to change my current 3-inch exhaust to Taipan's market-leading system, the Taipan XP. So let's have a chat to Kerry Haynes, who owns the business. Hey Kerry, how you going?
Tim, how you going?
Good to see you, mate.
Good.
So is this my exhaust?
It certainly is, Tim. Yes, this is the Taipan exhaust for your 3-litre CRD. Tell me about the problems you've been having. Why do you want to change your 3-inch system?
A big thing I'd like to see changed is reduce those exhaust gas temperatures.
Okay, so the temperatures are getting up there?
They're exceptionally high. As I sort of mentioned to you at the Albury show, that's one thing I'd really like to get changed if that's at all possible.
Yeah, no problem at all. So but generally what we see with the exhaust now, we were able to achieve good temperature drops and stuff. We've obviously got the use of Forby's Fabrication dyno today. We're going to do the fit up here in their shop.
So Kerry, what say we go for a drive, and then you can see the exhaust gas temperature readings before we fit up the new exhaust.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Tim. We generally do that with customers' cars. If they've got problems, we'll have a look at what the booster's doing, the pyro, because you've already got that in the car, so we can run off of that, and then we'll get it onto the dyno.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, so you've got your foot down there, just basically 50 Ks. We'll go through this roundabout up here. So you've just put your foot into it, and we've just seen 515. So yeah, I can see what you're on about now with the temperatures. So yeah, there's something going on there. It's either the dump pipe that's causing a lot of restriction, or the chip's just set up too high. We just need to get it balanced so we can get right heat and give you the performance that you're after, and you're probably going to notice improvement in your fuel economy as well.
Because Kerry, one thing I do try and do with that exhaust temperature reading, I do pretty conscious of trying to keep it under around 600 degrees.
Yep.
But I find, you know, going up some hills, I could punch this up over 700 in a heartbeat if I really want to. It's not hard.
Yeah, that's just far too high, mate. There's no need for temperatures like that. You can get good performance without running those sort of temps. You need a 3-inch system on there, but you need a total 3-inch system. I noticed before when we had a look under the bonnet, it's still got the standard dump pipe, so someone's led you to believe that you've got a 3-inch system on there. And in actual fact, we've still got a standard dump pipe, and someone's latched onto the bottom of it and created you a 3-inch system from there on. So we'll show you when we pull it off, the standard one to the aftermarket one, and we'll run through a few things. You know, as a comparison, especially with this system on the car, the Taipan one on the car, you'll see a greater height. We're above the chassis rail that our system sits, to where this one's actually hanging down. So when you are hanging around and four-beam, you know, running over rocks, stumps, stuff like that, you've got less chance of catching the Taipan up on a rock. We lift our systems up as high as we physically can, so 4-wheel drivers can get out there and knock off their systems and stuff like that. So design is a big part of our product. We actually take all that in account when we're building the system.
The 3-litre engine, it's a pretty volatile little engine, and it does work pretty hard considering the weight it does push and the weight it's carrying, particularly with this vehicle with all the modifications on it. So any help that I can get to reduce those exhaust gas temperatures would be greatly helped, I think.
I'm pretty sure we can fix them up today for you, no problem at all.
Sounds good. So Kerry, Joel's now put the petrol in the dyno. What's going to happen here?
Yeah, basically what Joel's going to do, he's going to power it up, do a couple of runs for us, get some figures for us to work with, and then basically what we're going to do is be able to compare those figures between the Taipan system and what you've had on there.
Their results I'm looking forward to seeing.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Well, the dyno test has just been completed with the old 3-inch exhaust system. The boys are about to replace that with this new Taipan XP. Repeat the process back on the dyno, and we'll look at the new results.
The first thing I've noticed on Tim's truck is the cat looks like the original cat, but there's actually been some pipe work changed on it. Secondly, the pipe that comes through here with our flex section is hanging down quite low. Our one actually runs a lot straighter, obviously for better flow. Okay, the second thing I'd like to point out is about the muffler itself, how big it is and how much it hangs down. Obviously that takes away a lot of ground clearance when you're out 4-wheel driving. So when we get the Taipan system on, you'll notice it sits a lot higher. The third thing, just up here, you can see a shiny bit of metal. Obviously this system's been actually hitting the fuel tank guard. And lastly, just where this is finished here, this is prime for getting crushed and hooked up. If you're backing up into a bank, you can actually push this down and crumple up your tailpipe. The other thing too is when you're on drop-offs, and that's the most exposed part, you can see it's down low. You can already see that the tailpipe's copped a few bashes. So what we'll do with our one, we actually like to bring it through and it actually finishes and cut off so we can get a bit more height.
And have a look at this attention to detail that Kerry's just pointed out to me. These dimples here in the side of the tube is so when the installers bolt the system together, they can get a socket through there onto the bolt and tighten up nice and tight. The other one, just have a look at this. When they've welded this plate here onto this tube, they've even cut the welds back. It's the same thing. The socket will fit over the top of the bolt and tighten up nice and tight. How's that for attention to detail?
So Tim, this is basically what I thought had happened. We've basically had some pipe work done on the top of the cat here, and I've still used your original cat. This is a 400 cell cat. This is a 200 cell, so we're going to get better flow because we're going 3-inch into the 3-inch cat. And then obviously on the bottom here they have lifted it to 3-inch, whereas it comes out 3-inch as well. The significant difference is this is 400 cell standard cat, which has been jimmied up, and this one here is actually a dedicated 200 cell cat, which is a dedicated diesel cat as well, which has far better precious metals to give us a better burn, and it's actually designed to run on diesels. So this is probably what's been holding us up a little bit as far as power goes as well, and back pressure. We'll get much better flow so we can get the heat away, which may bring our EGTs down if that's the problem, or it's still got too much fuel in it and we'll probably have to pull a bit of fuel out, but without detrimenting power-wise.
The new Taipan XP exhaust has been fitted up by the boys. It's now going to go back on the dyno to compare the results. So Joel, you've conducted the dyno test from the old system to the new Taipan XP. Can you just point out some of the changes?
Yeah, Tim. Well, firstly we can see we've had an increase in power pretty much through the whole range of the car. We've also seen the mixtures lean out some, which means that the engine's actually using that fuel more efficiently. In addition to that, what we actually noticed is a drop in exhaust gas temperatures. So over the test that we conducted of 60 seconds, previously where the car was actually reaching quite high temperatures, 544 degrees, we're now down to 495 degrees. And you can see from the graph we started at the same temperature and it's actually not got as hot over that time frame, so that's really good.
That's a great result. Well, that's one of the big things that I wanted to sort of try and get fixed was these exhaust gas temperatures.
We've definitely got a lot of data here that you could certainly go through, but we've seen improvements over a number of runs just to make sure our results were consistent. We've done 3 runs before, 3 runs after, and we see a consistent result here of an improvement with the exhaust fitted in both power and torque.
Great result at the end of the day.
Yeah, and a product
Fantastic.
we'll be happy to use.
That's good.